today.
Start streaming.
Speedy.
Start recording. Looks like that's good.
I forgot my tablet.
How's it going, everybody? It looks like we're live now. Sorry about that. We're just going to blame technical difficulties this morning.
Damn producer.
Okay. Now you just put the blame on me.
They didn't know. It could have been Brian.
Okay. So I guess, how's everybody doing this week? How's everybody doing?
Terrible. My team got wrecked.
One of the worst
That was awful.
for us predicting, like, as far as game
Oh,
wins
it's been
and
bad
losses.
so far.
That,
but
that
there's
was
been
for
so
everybody,
many-
though.
Yeah.
The,
There's been
the
so
underdogs
many-
ruled the day
so
last
many
week.
upsets. So many. It's crazy.
Yeah, I do that pick 8 league. You're just picking 8 winners. You know what I mean? And if you happen to do that, you get the prize. And there was definitely a rollover this week because nobody picked 8 games correctly. I picked 5 games correctly, and I was one of the leaders out of 6,000 people. Like, that's...
I have you picking 8 games right last week on our podcast.
What'd I get?
Okay.
You got 6 and I got 7.
Damn, that's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm getting behind.
What up, what a busy? Where were you last week, dude?
What's up, brother?
Not even a love mention.
All right, we'll try and do better this week.
So, are we going to do our Homer Minute, or how do we want to roll this out?
Dude, my Steelers are rolling. They're 2-0.
They're
kicking
rolling. You've scored 1 touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Rolling.
Now, we've talked about this all year. Like, that's how we're going to win. We need to score 17
We are
points.
rolling.
Dude, our defense is so amazing, dude.
We
It's
are rolling out the punter, baby.
No, the field goal kicker. Thank
That's
you
right.
very much.
That's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I picked him up in a couple
Yeah.
of spots. Yeah.
Yeah, I did too. Because we're going to be kicking a lot of field goals, especially with Justin Fields in there.
Good old
And,
Boswell.
and
Make
we,
sure you
we
ice
run
down.
a very conservative offense because that's what we have to do. We just need to score 17 points and let our defense do the rest.
Agreed. I agree.
And it's working, and it's going to work again this week. We got the Chargers, which are, not an easy matchup.
but it's
then
in Pittsburgh.
It's in Pittsburgh. Herbert is hurt,
Yep.
might play with a high ankle sprain,
Yeah.
which means he can't move around in the pocket.
He's so happy.
I
He is so
am.
happy.
Oh, we're going to crush him. It's going to be great. Okay. So that's my minute.
Yeah, my minute was very somber. We need that music from like the end of the Hulk. It was so bad. I don't understand it about this. The Mike McCarthy era of the Cowboys, they'll just do that. Every once in a while, they just.
Yeah.
It was like
Last year it happened. a few
it's
times,
like all of us are figuring out how the game's going to work out, and meanwhile, they're laughing back at Dallas because he told them on Thursday we're taking the week off. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because that's how it looks.
Yeah.
It looks like nobody's prepared at all. And they just kind of like, I guess this one's over in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And they do that periodically, and it's really frustrating. I don't know. I really don't know what to say about it. I've never experienced it before. Like, I've experienced the Cowboys being bad and losing like that on a regular basis when the team is bad. But when the team is good enough to dominate other good teams, I've never seen this. I've never seen a team just like flip flop between whether they're going to dominate somebody and roll over.
Yeah. So, do you have the worst division in the league?
It's pretty
Washington,
bad.
Giants,
It's pretty bad.
Philly's getting bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
It's funny too because every year is like the same where we think it's going to be great, and
Yeah.
there's like how many playoff teams are we going to have, and it's like maybe one. They
Right.
might let the division winner in. All right, Ray, you're up.
Oh, I'm afraid to go to Ray.
Yeah, so
Poor
moving
guy.
on. No, I'm just kidding. With all the injuries going on, it just
So
seems
many.
like another just start to a bad season. That's 2 losses.
I'm concerned.
I am too. I would be lying if I wasn't. I let's just say I kind of moved on already in the season. And
You're grieving.
well, it's one of those things. Like I was looking up statistics and figures, and teams that start 0-2 are 11% chance likely to make the postseason.
Since like 1992. That's
So-
the modern playoff format,
And
which
then-
is not even accurate anymore because there's 7 teams now
games,
that make it.
yeah. Well,
so those numbers that they use, going all the way back to 1990,
Mm-hmm.
don't make sense anymore. You have to start over and go back to when we added the 7th wild card team because that's something you're shooting for.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how far back I checked on the statistic, but and then if you go 0-3, then it goes to
it's
to
over.
5%
Yeah.
chance. So
Only the Bengals can do it.
at this point, we lost our receivers. We lost, and we got Matthew Stafford on his possible last year. It's like one of those
If
things.
the offensive line doesn't start playing better,
Well, didn't they all get hurt?
they did in week 1. They're starting to come back now.
Okay.
They had some injuries at the end of preseason too.
Yeah, the injuries were ridiculous on your team.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
even
been
when
bad.
you're 0-2 and it's your team, you're like, well, this could happen, or you know what I mean. But with so many injuries, you just got to be like, man, I hope we get the first pick in the draft.
Yeah, I think at this point it's just one of those things where you just got to see how they're going to play the game. Do they really feel like they have a next man up kind of guy, or not? I really like the tight end, but he's not getting the ball thrown to him very much.
Are we talking about Allen,
No,
Higby,
no, Parkinson, yeah.
Colby Jack Cheese?
Colby Jack.
So I think he's dropped one pass, but when you go watch the replay, it was way out there, for a big dude, he would have had to lay himself out for it, kind of thing, if just to get a shot at it. But
You know what's funny is I kind of think they have a shot today with all the things the 49ers are doing. The 49ers are basically taking the week off. Kittle's not going to play. Debo's out. Obviously, McCaffrey's on IR. They're making a couple of defensive sits, too, I'm pretty sure. So it's going to be interesting. It's a game I don't want to pick because I feel like the 49ers should win that game.
Yeah.
But with all the players they're sitting, and it's like, well, who's Purdy going to throw to? Is
Yeah,
IU?
spoiler alert, I'm picking San Francisco, but in my pick 8 things, that's not one of the teams
Yeah,
I'm picking because
right.
I divisional game, injuries everywhere, anything could happen.
Yeah. Are they in LA or
actually, I think they are in LA.
they are?
Usually they
Yes.
play the January game in San Francisco. Usually that's the
So-
way it kind of goes.
The way that it's supposed to go is 1 year, the first game is somewhere and the second game is the other place. And then the next year, the first game is at the second place. So you play back to back in that city.
see.
And then I'm pretty sure it still works that way.
Yep. So that's kind of how I feel about the whole thing. If they win today, I mean, their odds go up to 25% or something like that. So, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's San Francisco. At the end of the day, it's San Francisco. It's I remember reading a bunch of fact checking history last podcast, and we were all on the wrong side of history when we didn't go, when we sided with history. You know what I mean? Green Bay won their opener, and a lot of the other historical things that we
Didn't
were
happen.
didn't happen, but historically it does, and we were just
Yeah.
on the wrong side of history. And so that being said, the Rams haven't historically done a good job beating the 49ers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least Sean McVay hasn't. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Honor bound pick, but we'll see what happens.
All right. So let's
Just real quick before we move on, I have a couple of updates
injury
here.
updates.
Herbert is going to play today, so that's interesting. But he is going to be hobbled, so that's going to be interesting for our.
He can still hand the ball off. They're going to run the ball 40 times.
And then Taysom Hill is out, and what was the other one? I'm trying to bring it up here. I'll get it for you in a second, but one more update. Oh, it's Love is inactive.
Yes, I read that this morning. All right. What's first, Ray?
All right, first up, we got Denver Broncos versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Broncos are plus 6.5. The over-under is 40.5. The money line's plus 215 if you're betting on the Broncos, and minus 265 if you're betting on the Bucs.
Yeah, I did take this one in my pick 8 because Tampa is going to crush them.
I don't know about crush them.
Oh, I expect this to be a
So
drubbing.
Vita, both of their starting defensive tackles are out, and their secondary is already kind of just like decimated. So this is a defense that maybe the Broncos can score on, and the Broncos themselves have a pretty solid defense. So we'll see. Like I expect the Buccaneers to win, but I don't. It's one of those games where I'm like 60-40 on, not like 80-20, 90-10, something like that. Because I could definitely see them shutting down Godwin. If they're able to shut down Godwin, then I'm not sure what their offense does.
Interesting. Yeah, this is one of my 80-20 games. Like this one, I feel very strongly about Tampa. I watch Bo Nix play, and yeah, I'm starting defenses against him. So that's the way I feel about
He's
it.
a rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm starting
I
defenses
like
against him.
I
He's
like
going to be
Bo Nix.
bad for a while,
I think he's going to be good.
but not now.
Not yet. He's rookie.
All right, so we all take
Ray? I'm
yeah,
on the Bucks.
Bucks. Did you
right.
pick Bucks?
yes.
Yeah. Thing for fantasy football is Bucky Irving is getting interesting. Like
Keep an eye
Wa-
on him. Yeah.
Yeah, Rashad White continues to be super inefficient. Is getting bailed out with receptions and touchdowns, and typically that doesn't last. Guys aren't as inefficient as he is this year, and keep the job the whole way.
Wasn't
So
this
one of those
all
teams
last
gonna
year
have
too, though?
to-
I mean,
Huh?
Bucky Irving wasn't there last year, but all last year, this is kind of what he did too.
It wasn't this bad.
Really?
He's
Okay.
averaging like 2 yards a carry right now.
And last year was like 2.9.
No, it was like 4. It was almost 4. It was like 3. It was between 3.5 and 4.
Okay, I was like, I
It was
guarantee
under
it's less than
4,
4.
but it wasn't this bad. It wasn't anywhere close to this bad. So watch out for that. Other than that,
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, the Denver side is ugly.
Yeah.
There's
Stay away from it if
yeah,
you can.
there's
and if
nobody you
have
want to start for Denver.
Yeah.
Maybe Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds is
Oh God,
like
if that's where you're going.
you can like Josh Reynolds is a dart throw for like DFS. I think he's a good dart throw for
Yeah.
DFS considering how beat up the Buccaneers secondary is. And Cortland Sutton is a guy that you can start as a flex.
Yeah,
because
that's what I'm saying. You're not starting Josh Reynolds over Sutton.
No,
but yeah,
no.
Okay.
No, I just
The way you said it, I just
started
want to
with
clarify.
him
Yeah.
because he was like the one that came to my mind because like, oh yeah, this is an exciting play this week.
Okay, next up we have the New York Giants versus the Browns. The Giants are plus 6.5. The over/under is 38.5. Plus 220 is the money line. Minus 270 if you're betting on the Browns. Now the Giants are leading the all-time series, 28, 23, and 2.
Now this one I feel confident on.
Cleveland.
Yes.
Yeah, me too. This is another game I picked. That Cleveland defense is no joke, and the Giants offense is kind of a joke. Now Malik Neighbors is for real. I hope you guys listened to me last week. Toot toot. Like
That was fun. So Wandale did score.
he did. He did.
But Neighbors did have that 7 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown game that we talked about. So yeah, it was nice. That was really nice.
I did really well.
So you're
in
up
DraftKings
1-0
last week.
on the season, the tally. Oh, can we get that going?
Which one?
The season long bet. He's got 1 and I've got 0.
The Wandale Robinson versus Malik
Yeah.
Neighbors.
It's a
Oh,
tally.
okay, it's a tally going?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's the mark is 12 points, right? Yeah. So whoever scores 12 points more times is the winner.
Yep.
And Wandale scored like 11.5, I think, with the touchdown.
Yeah.
Because Neighbors went ballistic.
Bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So they could both score a tally then in each
Yes, they
week?
can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and who got it this time?
Malik Neighbors, my guy.
Week 2, just Neighbors?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Cleveland, I mean, we feel they're going to win. But
I
that
like Deshaun
offense has
Watson
been,
a lot. Like,
Okay.
I think that he's a quarterback that he shouldn't be on the waiver wire. Like
Okay.
in one quarterback league,
And-
obviously
but
not
he
two,
is.
but in one quarterback leagues, I don't think he should be on the waiver wire. Because there's only a couple of quarterbacks that are playing really well right now. You've got Murray, Hurts, Lamar Jackson, even Josh Allen had a stinker in week 2. So half the league, if you're in a 12-man league, is needing a better quarterback play. And so Deshaun Watson, I think, is one of those guys because they haven't been able to run the football. And
No, not at all.
and he has looked good scrambling. I think he's going to continue to get better in the passing game. Jerry Jeudy has looked good. Amari Cooper's not going to continue to drop the ball all season long. And eventually they'll get Nick Chubb back. So I think
They
he's
hope.
somebody, huh?
They hope.
I think he's somebody that should be stashed. Like if
On
you
your
need,
IR? Yeah.
No. I'm not. Well, obviously Chubb. Chubb should not be on the waiver wire either. But I'm talking about Deshaun. Deshaun,
I
like
gotcha.
if you've got a quarterback, you're like, well, yeah, this guy's pretty good. I don't want to go to the waiver wire and start somebody over him because devil you know versus devil you don't. But if you could use an upgrade of like 5 to 7 points per game, stash Watson if you got a spot. I think that's a really strong play.
All right. And he's going to be on a lot of waiver wires. So, and the only other thing we need to talk about here is the running backs, Deontay Foreman or who's it, Ford?
Gross.
I know,
That's
but
gross.
who's getting the carries?
I don't want to try and make that call because I don't think it matters.
But somebody has to. Like there are people out there making
I'm
that
not
decision this morning.
starting either of them unless I have to. And if I have to, I'm still going to start Ford because he's the one of the two that can catch the ball.
All right. That's fair. People want to know, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and stay away. That's what.
Yeah,
that's what
I
you
would too. Foreman is sneaky. It seems like the last couple of years, he just, when he gets the opportunity for volume, he really can do something with it.
When he gets the volume. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
but if
seems
he doesn't
like,
get- yeah.
It seems like once or twice a year for the last 3 years, he's had like 2 games, it seems like the last 3 years he's had like 2 games where he gets 25 plus touches and 150 yards and a couple touchdowns or something like that, and just blows up the week.
Yep. So watch
Hey,
out
that
for it. What do we
sounds like
got?
a question.
Najee Harris or Jerome Ford for flex this week.
Najee Harris.
Yeah, it's not close to me.
No, not close at all.
We're going to be super wrong. Ford's going to go crazy.
But you
no.
know Najee's getting the ball.
Yes.
He's going to touch the ball 16 times plus today.
And yes.
I mean,
yes,
you're going to take that.
They're both going to be in positive game scripts. Najee's going to have the premium touches guaranteed, the goal line touches and
Yep.
stuff like that. Whereas you don't know what they're going to do in Cleveland, whether it's going to be Ford or Deontay Foreman. So you don't really want to be wrong.
Yep. All right. So we all take Cleveland?
I think we did.
Yeah, we did.
Thanks for the question.
Next up we have Eagles versus the Saints. Plus 2.5 if you're betting on the Eagles. 49.5 is the over under. Plus 120 is the money line, and minus 142 if your money line is on the Saints.
All right, Saints, don't let me down.
Right.
Don't spank my Cowboys and then go home and lose to the Eagles. Don't do that. That really screws things up for us in December when we're figuring out who's going to win the division.
I expect Philly to lose today.
I do too. I do
Philly
too.
is just not looking good, and New
Defense
Orleans
looks horrible. The defense looks horrible.
Yes,
and
the New Orleans offense looks amazing.
yes.
Where the heck is this coming from?
they were the Eagles cornerbacks were getting confused at the end of the game by the Falcons offense. So all the motion that New Orleans has going on and the fluidity of their plays and how everybody seems to be on the same page right now, their whole offense is just cooking.
Oh my
They're-
God! Yeah.
I've never seen Derek Carr this confident.
No.
Never. So
No. Yeah. It's crazy to behold. It's making for weird game scripts. Like Olave has done nothing this year, but because he hasn't had to.
Now, to be fair, I don't think Olave is ever going to be a number 1. I think he's going to be a solid number 2, but he doesn't break tackles. He's not dynamic with the football in his hand. He will get some extra yards. He's got good speed and quickness, but his value comes from his ability to get open in between the 20s is what it seems like to me. I just don't see him ever becoming like a 10 touchdown guy. So I'm out.
How do you think Olave is going to do today?
Huh?
How do you think Olave is going to do today?
He'll score today now that I'm trashing him. But
I'm actually really high on him today.
I am too.
Oh,
And
today?
it-
Okay,
and
I was
so-
like, I want to put a
and
bet
th-
on this.
And that's what I was going to say is like, today's the day.
Yeah.
Like, Olave has to get it done today.
Mm-hmm.
And if he doesn't get it done today, he's just not going to do it.
Then there's problems. Agreed.
Yeah, like you've got a real issue as to whether he's actually a number one. And because I think this is year 3, and people are still valuing him like he's right there in that like 10 to 12, definitely top 15 in terms of like dynasty receivers, you know? And like, so we expect still him to have, this like monster season, and it's got to start today.
Yes, I agree completely. And I hope for my DraftKings lineup sake that he does well.
I think I forgot to make one.
Oh,
I
no.
might have. But let me double check. I was really busy yesterday. And then obviously, Alvin Kamara,
Oh yeah,
just killing
Yeah,
it, killing it.
Been absolutely great. Steal of the draft.
I think he's still pretty kind of cheap on DraftKings too, no? Alvin Kamara? I picked him up, I think, in 1 or 2 lineups this week
Okay.
in DraftKings.
I think he was high enough that I wasn't considering him, but I mean, he's one of those guys that you miss out like last week, 4 touchdowns.
Are you guys going Vikings or are you guys going Texans?
Oh, we're not in the game.
Oh, we all went Saints.
Yeah,
okay.
we haven't done the line yet for the next game.
Okay, gotcha.
So on the Eagle side, no AJ Brown. They look lost without him.
I agree.
They look like a completely different. They look like an average team without him.
Yeah, and they're going against a red hot team.
Yeah.
So, yeah, should get ugly, but we'll see.
I mean, Saquon Barkley should have another big game. They don't have anything.
Well, he's
else to
their
do with
offense right
He
now.
is their offense,
Yeah.
and that was the thing is that if they had focused more on Barkley, if he had just gotten a few more touches, they probably win that game.
Well, or if he had one catch.
Or if he had completed one more touch,
Yeah.
they definitely win that game. But I'm saying, like, there were times where they had drives stall out after they had punched him with Barkley, and they just kind of like then ran 3 consecutive plays that didn't put the ball in Barkley's hands and kicked a field goal.
All right. So what was the next game?
Next up is the Houston Texans versus the Minnesota Vikings. And we have -1.5 for the Texans. Over-under is 46. -125 if you're betting on the Texans. And -105 if you're betting on the Vikings. I think both teams are going
This
in.
is a really interesting game.
Yes, this is one of the games I'm
those-
looking forward to see the most. Like this is
This is that knock out the pretender game.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like Houston's going to roll Minnesota in this game, and we're going to find out that Minnesota's really not that good. But
Sam Darnold's not a superstar.
but they are at home, and much like I was telling you after
Bezzy
the show,
wants to know what everyone's expecting out of Shaheed. Was he in the last one or this
Boomer
one?
bust. I mean, that's what he is.
he's so.
Sorry
I
to
think-
derail the conversation, but
You can expect him to continue to get like 4 to 5 targets. He's had 5 targets
Right.
and 4 targets, and he's caught 100% of his targets, and he has 2 touchdowns of like 40 plus yards. It's just not repeatable. He's a good flex start, but you're looking at Gabe Davis.
So like in our league, like if he's your number 3 wide receiver or your flex, I think you're cool with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, flex. If he's your flex, you're fine. If he's your number 3 wide
He's
receiver,
on my team. I'm happy with him as the number 3.
so if he's your number 3 wide receiver, you're not feeling super confident about your wide receiver stable, at least this week.
Agreed.
Maybe when Cooper Kupp and AJ Brown come back, but
Please be soon.
but yeah, No Jordan Addison in this game. Still,
Right.
he's going to be out. Sam Darnold. Is he going to keep doing this, or are we look like he had a run to start? I think what was it like 2020, 2021, something like that.
We were talking about this yesterday, last week a little bit. Like Sam Darnold, really, like he's been getting better. I've seen him look good in games before this year.
For stretches, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sold yet. Is all
I
I'm going to
agree.
say.
But it's interesting. I
And-
want to see it.
But he's got Justin Jefferson.
And now on the other side, there's no running backs for Houston. Mixon's out.
Cam
and
Akers, dude.
There you go.
They got Cam Akers.
So what do you expect from him today?
For anybody who doesn't know, you can pick up Cam Akers and start him today. If you need a running back, like if you're running back hill, like I would definitely rather start Cam Akers than either of the Browns running backs.
I agree with that. Yep.
Picked him up in my
Because with
DraftKings.
Houston. Sorry?
Akers, I picked him up in my DraftKings.
Oh, yeah. Me too. He's too cheap. He's like 4,700. Yeah, he's going to be a free square for a lot of
That
people.
I'm not doing. I'm not
Okay.
playing him on DraftKings.
Not on a cash game?
I'm confident he'll get you 8 to 10 points. I'm not confident he'll get you 20.
Right. And that's why I have him in my cash lineup and not in my
Oh, for 10
tournament.
to 20. Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And for 4,700, if he gets you 12,
I thought he was
you're
like
pretty happy.
in the 3,000s.
No, running backs don't go below 4.
Yeah,
Ever? That's like
No.
a thing?
that's
Yeah.
the minimum.
Yeah, minimum for running backs is 4. Minimum for wide receivers is 3.
35? 3, that's right.
Tight ends is
25
like
for
2,500.
tight end,
Yeah.
yeah.
Are we waiting on the next game? Sorry,
Uh,
I didn't see picks from you guys. So,
I am picking the Texans.
I am picking the Texans as well.
oh, I didn't get a lone wolf last week, and I guess this one's going to be my lone wolf.
There you go.
Yep, Sam Darnold is throwing with a passer rating of like 1-1-1 over the past 2 games, so it's like, see what's going on.
Yeah,
So
that's
next
good.
up, we got the Chargers versus Pittsburgh Steelers. Chargers are +3, over-unders at 36, +124 is the money line, and -148 if you're betting on the Steelers.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit. Herbert's limited, so my defense is going to completely get after him. It's going to limit what they can do offensively. This is going to be a completely defensive game. I expect the Steelers to do really well, score 17 points, and it's probably going to be, a 17-10, 17-6 kind of game. That's the way I see it. You guys see it any different?
No.
Okay.
No. The Chargers could get shut out today.
Yeah. Cool. But
What?
they are a well-coached team. They are, all this stuff. But, I think they're going to have some problems with my Steelers today. I certainly hope.
It's going to be interesting to watch TJ versus that rookie left tackle. He shut down. Who was it they played? Who did the Chargers play in week 1? It was Max Crosby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he completely shut down Max Crosby in week 1. So I'm excited to see. And Crosby's a beast.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
He's
to
not
see.
TJ Watt, but, yeah, he is dang good.
He's pretty close. Max Crosby is awesome, dude. Give him. Let's give him some respect, dude.
TJ Watt is an 11 out of 10. Dude, TJ Watt is the defensive player.
You gotta
of
pull the
league.
cock out
He
of your mouth.
Dude, watch him play, brother.
I've watched him play a lot, and in the first, like, within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage, and back towards the quarterback, he is awesome. He's excellent. He is a fantastic pass rusher.
He also had an interception. Oh, no, that was last year, not this year. But, yeah. He's dropped back, too. Dude, he's
But yeah,
defensive player of the year, brother.
I haven't really been all that impressed by his like lateral agility and his ability to get back and chase people. Like his ability to chase down quarterbacks is outstanding. His closing speed on quarterbacks and his ability to cut off your angle to get away from him is second to none for sure. But they get past him. Then what's he going to do? Because Micah would run him down.
I don't know, man. I don't know what you're seeing, but I don't see a lot of weaknesses in TJ's
I
game.
didn't say he's weaknesses. I'm just saying, like, gonna call him 11 out of 10. He should also be able to cover running backs and cover tight ends and stuff like that too. And because his brother did.
All right.
And JJ played every position on the line.
So you're saying JJ's better than TJ?
Yeah, that I'm saying for sure. That I'm 100% confident.
And honestly, like JJ was such a beast.
JJ Watt is the scariest
greatest
defensive
of all
player
time.
I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like when he was in his prime, it was terrifying.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying though. Is TJ is right there now. He's gonna have.
TJ's good. He's
God,
good.
if he stays healthy this year. All right. So go Steelers.
But it's kind of like so JJ is the mountain and TJ is the hound.
I'm missing the reference on that. The Hound.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay. No, thank you. I was not thinking Game of Thrones. I was like, what?
So,
I got you.
Did you watch Game of Thrones?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
One of my favorite all time. Yeah.
So,
I got
so
you.
the Hound is awesome.
No,
you don't want to fuck with the Hound.
It makes complete sense now.
But you'd rather fight the Hound than the mountain. If you had to.
All right. What's
So
next?
anyway, yeah, we picked the Steelers. That was fun. What's next, Ray?
Next up, we got Green Bay Packers versus the Tennessee Titans. Green Bay's +3. The over-under is 37. +136 if you're betting on Green Bay. -162 if you're betting on the Titans. Green Bay should be without Love today, right?
They are. Yeah. I'm actually intrigued by this game because I've been watching Will Levis, and I still like Will Levis.
Still have
a
some
lot.
hope?
I do. I really do. With his scrambling ability, if they're able to fix a couple of things and score some touchdowns, he's another guy. Will Levis and Deshaun Watson are two quarterbacks that everybody should be watching. If you don't have Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, you should be watching Will Levis and Deshaun Watson and making sure that they don't end up on someone else's roster scoring 25 to 30 points a week, because they could easily do that, I think.
If they hit that level up. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, those are two that I've been watching, that I was watching in the offseason. It's like, okay, I kind of want them as my last pick or something, just to, hey, maybe, you know what I mean? Of course, I dropped Levis, but
I've picked him up in a couple of spots. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't have room because I have so many
Exactly.
injuries.
So-
it's my IR.
there were so many injuries.
There's
last
been so
week,
many injuries.
Yeah.
So many injuries. It's been crazy.
But I like
this is a tough game to
Titans
pick
in this game.
to me.
Yeah, I agree, but I like the Titans here.
Damn it! I thought I was gonna get like a lone wolf on this one.
Oh no, man! You are not going to catch me betting on Malik Willis. It's just will not happen.
Well, it's not Malik Willis like when Josh Jacobs runs the ball 35 times like he did last week.
But is he going to be able to do that against the Titans?
Well, he might break, but I mean that's why you should be picking up Emmanuel Wilson and Marshawn Lloyd. Packers running backs that are
Right.
definitely on the waiver wire.
Isn't Lloyd hurt?
They put him on the PUP to start the season, so I think he was scheduled to miss the first 4 games. But I don't think it was something that was like, if they needed him, would have prevented him from playing. Does that make sense?
No. Who do you like, Ray?
I picked the Titans
So we're all in the
Okay.
Titans here. Wow.
early on.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm starting to throw them in there before you guys even talk. So
We're all on the same
try not to let
page.
you influence me.
All right, let's see if the next one splits us up.
Next up, we got Chicago Bears versus Indianapolis Colts. Chicago Bears is +1.5. Over-under is 43.5. +102 if you bet on the Bears. -122 if you're betting on the Colts.
This is a tough one to pick.
Did you see Caleb Williams at the end of the Houston game when C.J. Stroud went up to like dap him up and talk to him for a second, and he just kind of ignored him?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was all over the internet this week.
Wow. I'm surprised by that. Seems like that Caleb would want to like build his relationships with these. I mean, but everyone takes loss differently, man. You take a loss like that, and you just like screw everybody. I definitely get that too. But
So this is the game where the Colts are also in the same boat as the Rams, trying to avoid that 0-3 start of the season.
yep.
So were the Bears.
No,
Right?
Bears.
No, they won.
Bears
they won.
won.
That's right. They beat the Titans. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they squeaked it
They,
out.
yeah, they came back and beat the Titans. Yeah. The Titans were dominating that game too.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
It was a nutty game. So yeah, I'm gonna
I
take the Colts
have
here,
been
but man,
like-
this could go either way.
I agree. I like the Colts too, but I could see this as being like a game where people end up with the narrative. This is what we wanted from Caleb Williams, because he ends up with like 1 or 2 rushing touchdowns, a passing touchdown, no interceptions, and they win. You know?
Yeah.
Because
Well, if he gets that, they will win because Indy's going to have problems against this defense. I mean, the Bear defense is for real.
they are, but the passing offense, their pass defense is really good. Their pass rush is good, and they're good in the secondary. We're going to see if they're able to hold up against the run today with the Colts, because I think that's what the Colts are going to try and do. They're going to try and run them over with Jonathan Taylor.
We finally get to see Taylor, huh?
Yeah.
He's been a bit of a disappointment this year, so that would be.
He's been real quiet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be nice to see him have a game.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I think it could be today. And so on the Caleb Williams thing, I really do think that's a possibility, because I almost started him in my half-point PPR Dynasty League over Brock Purdy, because Brock Purdy's
Wow.
missing so many pieces.
Yeah.
My options, I have 3 quarterbacks. It's a 1 QB league, and it's Purdy, Stafford, and Caleb Williams. And I was like, I could definitely see that happening today. Like, I feel like he's gonna have one of those games where he has,
But you gotta see
60 plus
something more
rushing
out of him.
touchdowns or 60 plus rushing yards and a touchdown. Hey, go sit on the couch. Go. Thank you.
Did I lose? Okay, no, I'm good.
Go sit on the couch.
No, yeah, he just kind of turned his head away from the mic.
Okay, yeah, no,
Yeah.
it sounded funny there for a second. Just want to make sure we still had you.
Yeah, so in a game where you have 60 rushing yards and a touchdown, you only need like 150 passing yards and another touchdown to have a 25-point game.
Right.
So, he could be a good start.
Yeah, could be, but I'd start Purdy in that situation.
In fact, I'm going to do that. Spoiler alert: I'm going to start him in my tournament lineup. I'm going to package him with DJ Moore, who's ready to go off, I think.
All right.
And yeah.
Well, you're going to have some big leverage on the field, bud, because there's not going to be a lot of people using that.
Shoot,
that
no,
stack.
there's not. I might. You know what? I might. Do we get an update on Michael Pittman? Because I know he was questionable. He didn't practice all week.
I think I saw something.
Because that's a big thing. So on the Colts side, Josh Downs is supposed to be back today. So if Pittman's out and Downs is back, I love Adonai Mitchell. It's a bad matchup against the Bears, but if those things are the case, then he's a sneaky play too.
Pittman looks like he's playing.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
But don't play
officially
Pittman
active.
either.
Yep, he's in there. All right, Ray, who'd you decide on there?
What are we talking about again?
Indy and Chicago.
Right. Colts.
Colts and
Colts.
Ken. Okay,
Yeah, that's
so
what
we're
I
all on the
recorded.
Colts.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we got the Carolina Panthers versus the Las Vegas Raiders. We are now in the afternoon games. And Carolina Panthers are plus 5.5. Over-under is at 40. Plus 200 if you're betting on the Panthers, and minus 245 if you're betting on the Raiders. Let me see. Anything of note this game? I am going to go with Raiders before we get started here on that. They look like they have a 73% projection to win. Yeah, looks like Andy Dalton is quarterback right now.
Yep.
So
Dalton was announced the starter at the beginning of the week. So we'll see if that changes anything for that offense, which I think it will. I really do. I think they've got some pieces now. I think that Andy Dalton's going to go in there and kind of show him how to be a quarterback. Now, Andy Dalton is what he is at this point. I mean, he's not a superstar, but I think he's going to do enough to make that offense run.
isn't he
And
like a great number 2 though?
he is a great number 2.
Like
Yeah.
he traditionally, as a journeyman, has been
Well,
a
he
really
has
great number
started
2.
for like 5 different teams now. So,
Yeah.
like he started in Dallas, he started in Chicago, he started in Cincinnati, and I feel like I'm forgetting one. Like he's been one other place, right? New Orleans.
see here.
He's one of the top backups.
He
in the
started in New
NFL.
Orleans,
Yeah.
right?
He's I can't remember, but
I feel like he
sounds
was
right.
in New Orleans too.
But
like-
I think he's going to go in there and run that offense well, and I think the Carolina Panthers get their first win.
I went Raiders.
I'm picking the Raiders too. You're lone wolf.
I knew I'd lone wolf that one.
Oh,
I mean,
dude,
who's picking
Oh,
the Panthers?
I'm so glad you did this because I thought of this week. Like when you lone wolf on a terrible team, it shouldn't even be called like a lone wolf. It's like a lone pup. So you don't get the howl. You just get.
So looks like Andy Dalton has started for the Bengals, Cowboys, Bears, Saints, and
Yep.
Panthers.
Bam.
Five
Nailed it.
teams. Five teams.
5 teams. This is number 5.
Pretty good. So we got two lone
Deontay-
wolves so far. We got Ken on the Panthers. We got me on the Vikings.
No, I'm on the Panthers.
Or-
Brian's on the Panthers.
Brian's on the Panthers. I'm sorry, Brian on the Panthers.
Sabotage.
Good thing I said that out loud. I wasn't. If I was trying to sabotage, I wouldn't have said it out loud. Just saying. Okay, Brian on the Panthers, and me on the Vikings.
And I think Deontay Johnson is going to be a startable asset for you this week. So, I'm not like putting him in over like big time starters, but like if you're in that flex situation and Deontay Johnson's been disappointing you, I think you can put him in this week.
Who was that?
Deontay Johnson.
Oh God. So mine for this game is going to be Zamir White. Zamir White is somebody you probably like. If you were a 0 RB drafter, he's somebody you could have picked up as your like RB1,
Yeah.
RB2, something like that. Hero RB, those strategies. He's somebody who is probably important to a lot of people. And there's a lot of people that are disappointed that he hasn't done anything yet. If he doesn't do anything today, you can essentially cut him. Like you can move him to the bottom of your bench and just forget about him on the
Emergencies
bench if
only,
he doesn't do
yeah.
it today. But start him today. If you're somebody who invested in Zamir White in your draft, start him today. And Brock Bowers.
Yeah,
Brock Bowers for president.
What a
Brock
monster,
Bowers
dude.
24, baby.
Right.
Let's vote him in.
Yeah, he's become a heck of a monster, man. Like, is he going to be the best tight end this year? Like, I don't think
It could happen. It could, like, based on the landscape right now,
If we're-
it could easily happen. Like,
That's what I'm
Laporte is a
saying.
huge disappointment.
If
and
we
with-
redrafted today, he's the number 1 tight end
he should be.
taken.
He should be. I don't think he would be. I think that McBride and Laporta would probably still go in front of him, but you'd have to be thinking about him instead of, and maybe Kittle, because of how Kittle has started out. But he's hurt already.
Yeah.
So like, if you did the draft today, then yeah, it's probably McBride, Laporta, and then Bowers. I think people are probably still not buying into the usage on Jameson Williams to the point where they would knock Laporta out of like the number 2 spot for tight end. But the way things have gone for Kelsey and Andrews to start the season, they would definitely get knocked down a tier.
Kelsey, I don't think we're going to see a lot of. Well, now that Pacheco's down, we might see a little bit more of him. But I really think their plan was to save him for the playoffs, just keep him healthy. And
He's playing the snaps.
but he's not the focus of the offense like he has been in years past. Now today might change. Like I said, Pacheco going out is going to change a lot. But interesting. So sorry, tangent there. What's our next game?
Next
Kansas.
game is the Miami Dolphins versus the Seattle Seahawks. Miami +4, over-unders at 42, +170 if you're betting on the Dolphins, -205 if you're betting on the Seahawks. This will be the first time in 8 years the Dolphins have made their way over to Seattle. Seattle's,
Wow.
2-0 right now.
And that's a thing. I don't know if you guys realize, but flying cross country, the extreme cross country trips like that, like it matters.
Unfamiliarity with everything that you know,
Yes.
from your hotel room to the facility that you're playing in, to the feeling of the field when you're out there, all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that jet lag, everything.
And then you don't have your quarterback.
Yes.
Then you don't have your quarterback.
So one thing I wanted to say, though, is that I went back and I looked at the end of 2022 when Skylar Thompson played, when he took over. Like, Tua got hurt and missed the last couple of games of the season, didn't play the playoff game that year. The numbers for Waddle and Tyreek Hill, fine. Like,
Okay.
in terms, the only thing you'd be worried about would be targets, would be volume, because those guys are so special that as long as they're getting the opportunity, if the ball gets into their hand, they could score.
For sure.
So there was enough for me that I wouldn't even move them down. Like, and if somebody is like
Wow.
selling low on Waddle and Hill, take them.
For sure. Yeah. Especially Hill. Waddle is going to have a little
Waddle's
bit
going
more
to be
of
easier
an
to
up and
pick
down,
up.
but
You say
I
especially
agree.
Hill, but to me, Tyreek Hill is such a high draft pick that people are going to have like more. They're going to be less likely to want to just like trade him for less. Whereas Waddle, somebody could have got and been like, damn it, I knew I
might
should
be
have
able to pick
taken
him up cheap,
Diggs, or
yeah.
I knew I should have taken Nico Collins or something
Yeah.
like that. And you can probably get him for like Jamison Williams.
I'd want to wait till after this game because I want to see something. You know what I mean? I want
From
to
Waddle? Or
from Waddle with Thompson.
I think I would rather gamble and buy them now, because I think if like we have a game and it's like, oh, everything's fine. This was the best game of the year for Jalen Waddle so far. Then I think it's off. Then I think you won't be able to get him.
But then you better be getting them on the cheap because you're taking a big chance.
I don't think you are. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't think you are taking a big chance. I think you're taking a big chance by letting it play out and people seeing that there's nothing actually so wrong that you shouldn't just start them. And it's like, because I mean, Tua's not a fucking elite quarterback.
Right.
When he got signed, that shocked me. I was very surprised that Miami was willing to just like invest in him before they had to.
Especially with the concussion history. Like, to me, that matters more than anything. I mean, he works with the receivers. He gets the system. Like, I understand why you got the contract if he didn't have the concussion history. But with the concussion history, it's like look what happened. It was a minor hit, concussion, and he's going to be out, 4 to 6 weeks minimum.
And he's got 0 playoff wins, right?
I think that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
Who
if
do you
I'm-
like today?
Yeah. If I am going to pick Seattle.
I am too.
I'm going to pick Seattle. But I do think that this injury to Tua hurts their running backs more than it actually hurts their receivers.
Okay. And just saying the field's not going to be as spread, so they're not going to have the lanes to run in as much.
They're not going to be in scoring position as much.
That's fair.
That's what I think.
Okay.
I think that you're still going to get you're going to get enough points from Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, whether they score or not. But I think you're going to need, because I think the defenses are going to be able. They're going to make Skylar Thompson beat them. So they're going to key up on the run.
Yeah. I agree.
So it would surprise me that if Achane is able to have the same kind of success, because I think it's going to be bottled up.
All right. Ray, did you take the same?
I
Seattle?
took the Seahawks, yeah.
All right. Well, what's next?
Next up is the 49ers versus the Rams.
No.
-6 if you're betting on the 49ers. Over-under is 44.5. -270 if you're betting on the Niners. And +220 if you're betting on the Rams. Both teams have a bunch of injuries on the offense. However, the defense on the 49ers is projected to be slightly better than the Rams. So this could be a battle of defense, right? So there you go.
The question of the game is whether you guys are going to be able to stop Jordan Mason, because I think the 49ers are going to come out and give him the ball like 30 times.
That's their plan. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of Mason and a lot of Stafford running for his life. That's just
In a game like this, I would hope he just throw the ball. Don't
Right.
get injured yourself.
agreed.
Just throw it away. But I did pick Mason up on my DraftKings lineup. Yes, he's also in there. He's still pretty cheap too on
Yeah,
DraftKings.
62, I think, which is definitely too cheap for what he does and how often he's going to touch the ball.
Yeah, because it looks like they're gonna have be relying on him and Ayuk for most of the
Ayuk,
game, and Jennings.
Yep. So I've seen a lot of people using Jennings as a spot start this week. I mean, you can do that. I think he's going to get some volume, but I wouldn't, I wouldn't be excited about it. But you can do it if you need to. Ayuk does seem like you should be a little excited about him. Seems like things are going to funnel through him. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get a crap ton of volume today. And man, I hope the Rams have some signs of life here, man.
Atwell has done okay for them in the past, but he's never ever got the amount of targets to really determine is he something there or not. And that could be because you just don't. Maybe in practice he's doing something we don't get to see, and therefore he's not getting very many targets out on the field. Whether that's he just can't understand certain plays, so he's limited on the amount of plays you can use with him, or whatever the case. But now we're going to get a chance to see what this guy really can do, if he can do anything. I picked him up on our fantasy. I think it was picked him up just because I know that he's going to have to get targets. If he becomes the guy that he's going to get the ball thrown to, then I want him on my roster, So he's on the bench, but I picked him up. You know what I mean? So just to see what happens.
Yeah, it's hard to say what's going to happen with the Rams receivers for the next couple of weeks. So
because they got a quarterback.
Shots.
They have a quarterback.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So if he
and a good system.
If he becomes a receiver, he's going to get the ball.
Yeah.
So.
And he's had some good games in the past. I remember seeing Atwell with some decent stat lines over the last couple of years. So, they've been few and far between, but
I
he
had
does
him
blow up.
in Dynasty for a little while.
Tutu?
Until Puka blew up. Because once that happened, it was like, well, I mean, how's he ever going to get volume now?
Right.
But yeah, Atwell has made some outstanding receiver plays. I've been impressed with him many times. I like him a lot. It's just he's little guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take the Niners, but
I am too.
Kind of rooting for the Rams.
Same. Yeah, because we don't want the Rams season to be over, and if they win this game, they're in business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's a boring conference if the Rams aren't popping, to be honest. Next up, we got the Detroit Lions versus the Arizona Cardinals. -3 of the Lions. Over under is 51.5. -148 if you're betting on the Lions. And +124 if you're betting on the Cardinals. Let's see here. Anything of note in the fact checking? Cardinals, the Lions have gone 4-0 and 1 against the Cardinals in the last 5 meetings. So, other than that, looks like everything's pretty normal.
And you
Most
said
of the
that
time, I feel like they play in Detroit. These two teams, when they get together, it's always in Detroit. So to see the Lions out in the desert will be sweet. And I think they're going to be out there eating Cardinals.
now, it's what was the over under on the game? 51. Does that sound right?
Yep, 51.5.
51.5. So this is one of the highest over-under totals of the week. This is, if you're doing a DraftKings lineup, this is one of those games you want to target. It feels like there's going to be a lot of points in this game, and there's a lot of players to choose from. There's a whole bunch of players that could have some really good days today.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs is one of them. But it's so hard. Gibbs and Montgomery, and you've got
Jameson Williams.
Williams
Williams
Brown,
is still under 6,000, so he's a good start. If you're playing
Right.
cash, he's a really good start.
And honestly, I expect Arizona on the other side to be able to keep up. Kyler's doing well. Finally started finding Harrison last week. This is an offense that can do something. So this is going to be a fun game to me. I am going to pick the Lions, but it's this close to me. I kind of want to take the Cardinals in an upset here just because I think it's going to be such a close game. But I like what I've seen from the Cardinals so far. I think they're going to be decent this year. But Lions are good. I'm going to take the Lions.
I'm going to take the Cardinals at home.
Hey, there you go. I feel good about that. I hope you're right.
So I'll lone pup this one.
I thought you said that the Lions were going to eat the Cardinals.
No, they're going to score a lot of points, I think. But the way that they've played at the end of games concerns me.
Okay.
You talking about the Lions? The way
Yes.
Lions play at the end of games?
Yeah, because
Nick-
they almost
who'd
gave
you
up the
take,
game to the Rams, and then because they were ahead in that game by like 2 touchdowns, right, against the Rams, week 1. The Rams came all the way back. The Rams scored like 17 or 20 consecutive points
Yeah.
to take that game to overtime, and the Cardinals are dangerous.
Yep, they are.
So I think there was a comment I read out there that Baker Mayfield said that the way the Detroit Lions play, they just play bully ball, what they call bully ball, and he knows how to play against bully ball, and they did win. So that's interesting that there is a narrative out there how the Lions play. Their system is now like being shed to light, and Baker Mayfield exploited it, and we'll see if the other teams are starting to look at that and look at ways to exploit what they call bully ball. So
I'd like to see that whole clip and see what he said, but yeah, that was a big win for the Bucs. That was an impressive win, I thought, last week.
okay, next up we got the Ravens versus the Cowboys. Ravens are -1.5. Over-unders at 47.5. -118 if you are betting on the Ravens, and -102 if you're betting on the Cowboys.
Now, Ken, I'm curious here. Would you take the over or the under here?
What's the over/under?
47.
Yeah, 47.5.
I take the under. These two teams get together; they don't really score that many points.
I'm feeling like the over on this one, man. Like, this feels like there's going to be a lot of points in this game.
The
These are
Cowboys
two
are
competitive
a
teams.
defense that's set up to do well against Lamar Jackson, assuming that they are able to bottle up Derrick Henry.
Right.
And I think that's going to be the most interesting thing in this game. They struggled a little bit against New Orleans' rushing attack, but Alvin Kamara and Derrick Henry are two very different running backs in what they're trying to do. I think what the Ravens do on offense plays into the hands of what the Cowboys are good at on defense. So I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I don't. That would surprise me a lot.
Okay.
So,
and who's at home here?
Dallas. The guy that I'm worried about in this game is Zay Flowers.
Okay.
He's the weapon that they have that could give the Cowboys problems. Like, if Lamar is able to find him deep, the Cowboys could be in a little bit of trouble.
Okay. Like I say, to me, it feels like these are some defenses that are struggling a little bit. I think there's some injuries out there too. But maybe it's just they're not performing the way that we thought they would.
No, the Cowboys are fine. They're just not playing. They just didn't play well against the Saints, and they played really well against Cleveland. And the Saints had a game plan to take Micah Parsons out, and he talked about it afterwards and talked about how impressed he was at their strategies because most teams will just send extra blockers at him. And what he said was the Saints used motion to get him to move into specific spots that neutralized his ability to make a play on the play as it was happening. And so they didn't use extra bodies. They just made him move. They used what they knew about him and what he was going to do against him to take himself out of the play. And so the Saints are doing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think that I've never been impressed by the Ravens offense. Like, in my life, I've never been impressed by a Ravens offense. So it's just going to be a matter of whether they can block him or not. And the Ravens offensive line is not playing well. So I could definitely see Lamar making a couple of big plays. He's a 2-time MVP. and getting things on the wrong foot for the Cowboys. But I expect them to win today, and I expect it to be something like 24-13, 24-16, something like that.
And the desperation that the Ravens have to be feeling right now. Do you
The
think
Cowboys are? It's a bad match for them because they're going up against a team that just got their ass kicked
right?
at home, so they're pissed. They should be theoretically.
But the Ravens are desperate at 0-2.
Yeah, the Cowboys can't go 0-2 at home.
Yeah,
to start the season.
I agree.
So
to me, this is a very close match. It's a game I don't want to have to pick the winner of. If I have to pick the winner, I'm taking the home team. So I'm going to take the Cowboys here. But that's literally the reason why. Like, this is a very close matchup in my opinion. And like I say, I feel the over, but you know, Ken's the expert on his team here, so I could be wrong.
I'm going Ravens.
I thought the Saints had a superior game plan last week. They came out and they executed their game plan on both sides of the ball and put that game away early.
Nice.
It wasn't very nice. I didn't agree with it.
They looked good.
If you're a Saints fan, it was very nice.
Honestly, just as a football fan, it's just like, wow, how are they doing this?
They look so good. They look so good.
Yeah, I love it.
Like the timing on their offense, I was impressed.
That's it for Sunday games.
No, we got Sunday night.
Oh yeah, Sunday night. Yeah, we do. I do see it right there. Evening, Kansas City Chiefs versus Atlanta Falcons. -3, Kansas City Chiefs. Over under is 46.5. -166 is the money line. +140 if you're betting on the Falcons. The Kansas City Chiefs are, I believe, I read 7-10 against Atlanta Falcons.
Now this is a game that you want to go to because Arthur Blank is putting himself in the Atlanta Hall of Fame or the Ring of Honor. He's the Ring of Honor. He's being inducted into their Ring of Honor.
Oh, okay.
And so everybody who attends the game gets a bunch of free food and soda and like some memorabilia.
Wow.
Something.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're on the fence about going to the game tonight, you're in Atlanta. Free food, baby.
Go.
Be a
Now,
part of the celebration.
This is gonna be an interesting game, man. Like,
Certainly more interesting than people thought it was going to be going into Monday night's game. Like if the Falcons had just rolled over and lost the Eagles, like a lot of people expected they were going to do, I don't think we'd be talking about this game the same way. And also, if the Chiefs hadn't needed the referees to beat the Bengals last week.
True.
My favorite thing was this meme of I forget that referee's name, African American guy, bigger guy, and he was standing next to Patrick Mahomes, and they did a jersey swap.
That's funny.
It's so good, dude. So yeah, how do you? I mean, as long as the Chiefs got the refs and Taylor Swift, how are you going to pick against them?
And Taylor.
You know?
And I am going to pick the Chiefs here, but this is one of those games I wouldn't want. I'm not picking this in my pick 8. I'm not very sure on this one. I think Atlanta at home in a charged environment. Like
which Chiefs running back do you play?
Honestly, I think it's going to be game script dependent. So like if you think Kansas
none
City's
of them.
going to right, but if you think Kansas City's going to roll, then I think you're safe putting Carson Steele in there. And if you think it's going to be a really tight game and they're going to really need their passing attack, their rushing attack's not going to work, then P. Ryan's going to be getting the catches. My official answer is none of them.
Yeah.
I really want to be staying away from that backfield
Same.
completely. I'd almost rather have to deal with Cleveland's backfield than that one.
I would.
You're right.
Yes, I would start a Cleveland running back over a Kansas City running back today for sure.
All right. I agree with that. Yeah, so good luck if you have Carson Steele or P. Ryan.
And then on the other side, it was nice to see Drake London finally score.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny. He's right in that box with Olave.
Yes.
And that it's like, dude, what are you waiting for? Come on.
Yep.
We know you got the skills. Where are they at?
Garrett Wilson's almost in that
show
box
us
right
the
now,
points.
too. Yeah.
Kyle Pitts. What's going on, dude? What are you doing?
well, you can ask that of all the tight ends. You know what I mean? All the premier tight ends. And Kyle Pitts, I think he's probably still top 10, but
I'm not sure. That's
Yeah,
I'm curious. That's curious.
he's got a touchdown, and that's going to put him way up
Yeah.
there for tight
Yeah,
ends.
that's true.
But yeah, you're still gonna if Pitts is your tight end, you're starting him. You know what I mean? He's fine.
Yeah,
and
you're
he's
not
got a
running
chance
away
to
from
blow
him
up,
yet.
You know? Yeah. I think that offense is really starting to just get used to each other, feel each other out. I mean, Kirk Cousins is brand new to this. Didn't
I think
play
this
a lot
is a
in the preseason.
rough game for them. This is a match they'd be better suited to battle if it was like 6 weeks from now.
Right, in a month or two. Yep.
Yeah, because Kirk wasn't even able to take the ball from under center in week 1. And they did that last week, and so I think he's just going to continue to get better and get healthier.
Yeah.
You know, because remember his injury, his Achilles injury happened 6 weeks after
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers. So, and looking at Aaron Rodgers, like you can kind of like expect that Kirk is going to be able to like get to that point too and be back.
I was
to himself.
impressed with how much Rodgers was running around
He was awesome.
last week.
He
wow,
looks
I was
good.
very
He looks
impressed.
really good.
So, okay, so we're all taking the Chiefs or what?
I think so. Yeah.
I did. I don't know if
Yeah,
you
we
guys
did.
did.
We took the
That's
Chiefs.
everybody then.
And then we got a double header on Monday.
Yeah, we
Oh,
do.
yeah.
What the heck's that about?
It is weird. I don't like it.
Yeah, bring me back to one game.
And they don't. And they overlap.
Yeah.
That's the worst part.
Pick
It's
the
what do
game you wanna watch.
Like the thing is, the thing I don't understand is that you know how much money and effort they put into like lining up all of the viewership for these things. Mm-hmm. How do you do that? How do you do that?
But this is what, third year in a row they've done it. So like
I don't think
they're getting some
not
kind of
the-
positive
I don't
numbers.
think the overlapping.
Yeah, no, they've done. This isn't the first time doing this.
No, I know
they
it's
did it
not the first time
once
they've
or
done
twice
this,
last year.
But
and-
I feel like this is maybe the second time they've ever done it. Because I don't feel like it's like that common yet. And what
two
the-
Monday night games or
the two
overlapping?
Monday night game overlapping.
Got it.
The fact
Okay.
that you can't watch the entirety of either of them without missing some of the other one.
Well, unless you have YouTube TV and you can, put them both up on the same
Hey, that's
time.
not the same. You're taking half my screen, brother.
I'm just saying. Maybe there is a marketing ploy behind it. All right. So, speaking of the first Monday night games is Jacksonville versus Buffalo. Jacksonville's plus 5.5. The over/under is 45.5. The money line's at plus 185 and minus 238 if you're betting on the Bills.
All right. Well, this is a game where I'm betting on the Bills. It really feels like the Bills are rolling right now. Like they're really kind of putting things together. They're running that offense the way they want to, and I say running on purpose because it's all about the run game. And they've just been imposing their will. Like they've been playing the kind of football that they want to play. Jacksonville is still trying to get it together. I think Buffalo's going to roll big in this one. For my personal sake, I'm hoping that Brian Thomas gets some garbage time catches and whatnot while they're trying to catch up. But I don't expect a lot out of Jacksonville. Let's see. ETN is on his own in the backfield, and he is involved in the passing game, so he's still a decent start. But yeah, I expect to see Buffalo do really well.
Their offense concerns me.
The Buffalo offense?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, they're doing it exactly what they want to do.
They're not attacking with their passing game. Their running game has been awesome. And Josh Allen obviously is still a monster. But they're not beating people with the passing game right now. And eventually they're going to have to. So while I do expect them to win, until they actually show some ability to be dynamic in the passing game, I'm going to hold off on their demolishing anybody. I think they're going to play a lot of close games.
All right. I don't think this is one of them. I think they win this one handily.
I kind of feel like these teams play each other tough. They've played each other a few times, and the Jaguars have their own Josh Allen. He'll be chasing Josh Allen tonight. It's gonna be
Oh, I see. I was like, what?
the defensive lineman.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's a premier defensive lineman. He signed a mega deal in the offseason. Their offense is just terrible. The Jaguars' offense has been horrible.
They're figuring it out.
Yeah, agreed. So I think the Bills are going to win. I just don't think it's going to be like more than by like 6 or 7 points.
All right.
Okay, next up is the
I'm sorry, real quick. I saw this statistic. The Bills are on a streak that is the longest streak in NFL history without losing a game. They have not lost a game by more than 6 points in 42 games.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're in every single game all the way to the end.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a good stat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Next up is the Washington Commanders versus the Bengals. The Commanders are +7. Over-unders at 46.5. +270 if you're betting on the Commanders, and -340 if you're betting on the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bengals here.
It's time for them to wake up, right?
Yeah, I'd love for them to go 0-3. That would be beautiful.
They've done that before.
And man, it would feel good if they do. But it feels like Washington is really a team that's trying to figure themselves out. They've got a rookie quarterback. Their defense is atrocious.
Now, when you say
like
trying to figure themselves out, you mean like they're trying to figure out what they're going to do with the number 1 overall pick?
Well, I think they are playing for picks this year. I mean, they know they're not competitive, but they want to see what they have in their rookie. You know what I mean? This is a season for developing the rookie. You know what I mean? But their defense is just atrocious, and they're just going to lose.
Yeah, and their passing game's awful too.
Right? Yeah.
So-
Daniels is figuring it out.
Well,
so you
I'm
have to
just
stay
not a fan
away
of
from
that.
the receivers.
I'm not a fan of that Cliff Kingsbury offense. I'm just not.
Me neither.
I
Yeah,
don't like it.
I'm really
I was-
surprised he got a job
As a
again.
Cowboys fan, we sat here during the offseason and talking about the coaching moves and all that stuff, and I was elated at the decisions that the Commanders made to make Dan Quinn their head coach and to make Cliff Kingsbury their offensive coordinator. And I just said, all right, we'll see you again in a couple of years.
Good call, guys.
We'll see who you try next time.
Yeah.
Because that's how I feel is like these guys are gonna they're just be cycled out. Like they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna succeed in Washington with what they've got going on right now. I was not that high on Jaden Daniels. To me, he's like Justin Fields 2.0, but skinnier. Yeah, I'm not super high on anything they have going on, except for Brian Robinson.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
Yep. Well, and, you know,
Free
McLaurin's
Terry
great.
McLaurin.
Yeah, exactly.
God, that poor guy. What a talented player they have wasted.
Mm-hmm.
He is so good.
He's amazing.
And he's 29 now. Isn't that
That's
insane?
so sad.
It is sad. Let him go. Trade him.
I wonder what his contract status is.
Where could Terry McLaurin go where we would just trade him to the Jets?
Jets,
How awesome would that be?
Kansas City,
Terry McLaurin and Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. But yeah, trade him. Trade him somewhere. Let him go win. Let him go actually like compete at the level that he's definitely skilled enough to do.
I think he's supposed to be the security blanket for Daniels
That's
this
not
year.
what he
but,
does.
But it's
He's a weapon.
You're right. You need to trade him. I think that would be a good idea. All right, Ray, you taking Washington?
Nope.
Damn it. Almost had him.
I already have enough lone wolves.
Ooh, we get to talk about the Cowboys again.
It's the Thursday night game. We're just going to go over the numbers to make your picks, and we're going to move on. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, there's not much we can say
Yeah.
in the way of like fantasy stuff. So anyway, so
it's -7. The over-under is 43.5, and the money line is 305. Plus 245 if you're betting on the Giants, and the -7 is the Cowboys. In case you didn't figure that out, in case you need a little help on that.
And what the Giants have going for them in this game is that the Cowboys have to play a game before this game and could sustain injuries.
Come on, baby.
but other than that, there's no way the Cowboys will just demolish them.
Yeah,
The Cowboys
agreed.
have the Giants number, and they destroy them, and it's beautiful. I love
All right. So we have a few minutes left to do our lineups here for our
Yeah, let's do
DraftKings.
DraftKings. I'm only doing tournament. So
Okay. Do you want to start with tournament then?
yes, I can do that. Let me get to it. All right, guys. At quarterback for $5,600, I've got Caleb Williams. My running backs are Saquon and Zamir White. My receivers are DJ Moore to pair with Caleb, Chris Olave to bounce off of Saquon Barkley, and Jackson Smith and Jigba,
Oh.
because
I was like, Juju.
I'm going to gamble and bet that they're just going to start feeding him targets, because why wouldn't you? He's awesome. At tight end, you got to start Brock Bowers.
Fair.
In my flex, I've got Deontay Foreman, and for $3,000, I've got the Buccaneers defense.
Okay. You have a wild tournament lineup. And the funny thing is we actually have a lot of
Overlap.
Not a ton, but a few.
That's funny.
Ray, you mind if I go next?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. I actually I'm stacking the Dallas-Baltimore game. So I've got Dak Prescott as my quarterback. And I'm
Interesting.
pairing him up with CeeDee Lamb and Tolbert because Tolbert's 3,800. And if he can get that number 2 production today, that would be awesome. On the other side, I'm going with Derrick Henry and Mark Andrews to play it back.
Super stack.
Yes, it's a super stack. The other game that I'm going with is Philly, New Orleans. And I'm going to stack that one, mini stack, with Barkley on one side and Olave on the other.
Okay.
And let's see, that covers most of my guys. And then we have at tight end for the bare minimum, 2,500. I don't even know how to say his name. Sobert. Sobert.
Oh, God. I don't even know who that is. I don't even know who that is.
He is the starting tight end for San Francisco today.
Oh, God. Okay. That's a good one. That's a good one. It's not
So,
Dwelly?
This Sobert's
They
the guy.
lost Dwelly?
He finished with 2 receptions last week. Anyway, no, this guy's the one that's supposed to be getting the catches.
Wait,
so.
is Dwelly on the roster?
I don't know.
Because if Dwelly's on the roster, Dwelly's the guy.
How do you spell Dwelly?
Dwelly.
Okay, well, he's not coming up.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he not in the league anymore?
I don't know, but he's not coming. Like, I tried to search him, and he's not coming. So, anyway, that's my tight end because he's starting for the Niners. So, I mean, if he can get 7 points, I'm thrilled. And then I went with the Bucks D as well because, Denver sucks.
Oh, it's he's with Atlanta now.
Oh, okay.
Dwelly.
There you go.
Yeah, he's actually had some monster games in Kittle's
Kittle's
absences.
absence.
Yeah, that's
There
a
you
good
go.
one. That's a good pick.
So,
Good pick.
Sobert, come
yeah.
on.
Good job, dude. Nice call. I like that.
Let's hope.
All right, Ray.
Ray, did you have a tournament lineup?
No, I have a cash lineup, and I'll read that now.
Let's do it.
And just since we have a little bit of time, we're making up time. I am trying like a DraftKings experiment. I shared it with you guys at the end of the last season. And so I have to do the cash games. I'm not doing the tournament. I can do a tournament lineup, but like I have to do the cash games for this experiment. And that experiment is don't blow all your wad in one game. So it's like spread it out. So if I'm betting $10 for the week, I'm playing like 10 or 5 games, either $1 games or $2 games, because the chances are you're not going to run into that one person who gets lucky and beats you. You know what I mean? If that happens, it's going to happen small scale, not big scale. You'll still win the majority of that money. Right. So, now I'm rolling that into 14 games. So last week I did 9. And with the ratio of winning, I was able to expand and just throw it all back in and roll it into 14 games. So we're now at 14 games, and some of those are even upped in quantity. So some of those are even worth twice as much as it was last week.
Okay.
So my cash lineup is, I got 2 of them here.
Okay.
I'll read them both, and you guys can tell me which one you like more.
Okay.
They use the whole salary. So first lineup is Geno Smith, Kamara, Mason, D. Smith, Chris Olave, Brandon Ayuk, C. Parkinson, Cam Akers, and the Bucks. Now, the difference between those, I believe, is I have a wide receiver on the other lineup with Shaheed. I got the Bears defense, and my tight end is Bowers, and my quarterback is Derek Carr. All the other players are the same.
Okay. I like the Derek Carr lineup a little bit better,
I was thinking the same thing.
but they're both filled with the right people. You know what I mean? Smith is getting most of the, he's the number 1 this week. Ayuk is definitely going to be strong. Yeah, no, I like it. My cash lineup, I've got some of the same people here. I started with Kyler Murray, though. And I'm using Cam Akers as a saver here for 4,700. Jordan Mason, hard to get away from him. And I just went ahead and went with Ayuk as well. I think they're going to score enough points, and it's going to be concentrated on those 2 players that in cash, I like that play. It's something I wouldn't do in tournaments. I also have Olave, JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I doubled up on Mark Andrews, so he's going in my lineup again. Flex, Rashad White is just too cheap in a PPR. He's going to be, like I say, even if he's not inefficient, or if he's inefficient, he's still going to be getting those catches, still getting enough points to fill up your cash lineup. But again, I would not go tournament with him. And Steelers D is just going to be solid. So until we have injuries, just keep playing that Steelers D. They're
Definitely.
just awesome.
All righty.
right.
We got any last-minute questions?
I don't got anything up there.
All righty. I think that's it.
So
we get
that's it.
Good
Everyone,
luck, everybody.
now you got time to get back to your games. You got time to hurry up and adjust your lineups. So we will see you all next week. Thanks
Crush
for
it,
joining
everybody.
us.